All right. Hello, hello. Sorry, a little late start today. It was the typical, yeah, get ready to hit the go button. Dog comes running in the house, running around crazy. Sounds good. Thank you. No, I appreciate it, buddy. All right. Let's just dive in because, again, we are starting a little bit late today. Um, and let's do this up at 10:30. So, yeah. Um, all right. So, dollar strength. It's really kind of all we're seeing this morning today. Again, just continued kind of push. Not really any, I would say, fundamental factors that are driving it beyond the fact that we know that they are going to raise it. It's what it looks like. Here comes, things like this. Wild inflation will hurt all financial assets. Market research and Bianca warns. Um, they actually had another article earlier that talked about how. Whoops, not that one. J.P. Morgan basically talking about how they see it how they see it ending. I can't find it right now, but basically seeing it ending, not ending, but like getting under control by the end of the year, right? So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Seeing the UK and again, this is UK. This is not like the Ukraine or Russia. UK military intelligence talking about how, um, again, Russia is now, Russian forces have now fully withdrawn from the Ukraine to Belarus and in the north, right? Um, so again, Russia said that they were going to pull back, right? And they have now pulled back, okay, in this region. So it's interesting. And then again, there's a mention over here that EU adopts fifth round of sanctions over military aggression. Um, because again, the reported atrocities and things like that. Um, I don't know. It's the things that this stuff it cracks me up. It's like, yep, these things are bad. They targeted it on purpose. It's like, wow, it's like you realize like during the war, like we just bomb entire cities. I'm like this is why it sucks that there's things like urban warfare, right? You can't have urban warfare without hitting these things. There was an article yesterday that talked about, um, you know, everybody says that the war crimes, war crimes, war crimes, right? Um, Question was like, are they even going to try to prosecute? And the answer is probably not. There's really no point besides for political headlines. It would take decades to be able to prove anything, to go through the right channels, um, to prove that Putin gave the order to the average soldier to do it. They said it's nearly impossible. Um, they said it would take decades. He'd probably be dead before it could even happen. So they said it's nice that the terminology is thrown out there, and while it kind of does meet the legal definition, the things you need to go through. So all these things, it's yeah, it's one of those things. It's kind of funky. Like could it actually, and again, this is just why war is bad in general, right? It's why war is just such a horrible thing, right? Um, you know, horrible, 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 horrible. Um, and dealing with a nation that has shot their own soldiers for not wanting to fight, it just adds a little even more spice to the whole thing. So I don't know. Hopefully this is a positive news of what's coming, right? If they're pulling back their troops and things like that because they're serious about a truce. As I said, the last meeting that they had seemed like it was pretty good. They were gonna revisit Crimea. It seems like the two separatist regions were you know definitely on the table. They weren't going to join NATO. These are all the things that Russia wanted, and it looks like they pulled back. And I don't know. We'll see. The other noteworthy news is this, and I mentioned this if you caught the Natick section this morning. Um, this is extremely bad, right? One, I love this. I love the comments. Italy decided to buy in rubles. Yep, Italy did, right? Slovakia did the same thing. Germany, which had planned to stock up on wood, decided to buy gas in rubles anyway. So, kind of interesting. Why is the one climbing? This is a huge deal, right? It'll get thrown kind of under the bus, and a lot of people won't look at it. And Dan's like, "Yeah, this will probably come back later on down the road." I was like, "Yeah, I think it will." Right? China has now successfully purchased oil from two major oil-producing nations in its own currency. Okay, um, if there was ever a threat to dollar dominance, it is now this. Okay, again, weaponizing a currency, especially the reserve currency, worst thing ever that you could have done. Now we have major purchases happening in two countries, two separate major producers with the Chinese currency, right? Um, yeah, Big deal. And if you look at population wise, countries that support that, I don't know if you guys have ever seen. I actually didn't realize the numbers were this high. We're looking at this too, right? Countries in the world, 2022. China absolutely working with Russia, 1.4 billion, right? India also buying in rubles and said, yeah, we'll continue. You can actually, what India said is you can clear your payments for oil through us. We're cool with that. That works for us. That's 35% of the population. The U.S. comes in at a measly 331. So you have two countries that are actually supporting that population. So yeah, it's kind of one of these things. It's yeah, this is a major headline. Again, it'll get glossed over, but yeah, China's well on its way to meeting its goal of China one or China first. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. Um, Besides that, really, there's nothing else in here. You can see some of the hottest news out here is the first Captain America comic sold for 3.1 million at auction. So, and he's beaten Captain America, beaten Nazis. Yeah, I have a friend that'll be all over this. But that's it. That's the hottest news of the morning is the Captain America comment. So, Canadian news was split. 72.5 and 77.5 is not really that much of a difference. It's marked as red, but it's probably just borderline red. I wouldn't worry about it too much. The unemployment rate obviously went down, a positive step for CAD. Right now, the dollar CAD is up 39, and again, oil is holding and kind of staying firm at that 96-ish level. So, not bad, not bad. Um, Really, all it is right now is a little bit of dollar strength. Nobody has really any idea. It seems like there's no major headlines out there. Um, we just know that they're going to raise interest rates. We just don't know what it's going to look like. So it's just really the market right now, I think, is just preparing for what the inevitable is going to be. And what is the next comic going to be? How, point five is on the table for many, but, when that many becomes actual names next week, the market's going to want to be prepared for it ahead of time. And again, we know a raise is definitely coming, right? With lack of any other news, there's no reason why the dollar wouldn't go up. Now, is there reversals potentially today? I think so. Um, it's been pretty much a straight run from the European session. There will be profit taking as people close their positions down over the weekend. That'll come in sometime today. Do the indices have a chance of ending in the green? I would say probably, right? I mean, it's been so negative lately. I think we have the ability to get a feel good Friday kind of in there. So I think it's the potential's there. So we'll see. Um, all right, let's go right into the charts. We'll start off with the VIX. Okay, VIX is spiking a little bit. It really didn't do anything in the European session, right? I think once we get the initial burst that, oh my God, the market's opening. I think that this probably turns and rolls back down a little bit. All the indices are, I don't want to say firmly, but they're in the red right now. It's more. I'm more worried about what's going to happen at 10:30. I want to see if it drives into the levels that we talked about for reversals. I think today definitely, again, has the ability to do that. You can see noteworthy the Dixie, right? The dollar index is actually over 100. That doesn't happen that often, so that's kind of exciting, right? But I think right now VIX up slightly, and remember we've been up 10, right? We've been up tens. We're up 1%. It's not that much, so I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of rolls over. Particularly again, Russia is officially out. The UK says, "Hey, listen, they're out of the north. They've pulled back completely. They've taken their forces. They haven't redistributed their forces. They've pulled their forces back to Belarus and Russia." That's kind of a big deal, right? And again, we should see a drop in that one. Um, Oil is going to be the big thing. So we'll do our normal kind of routine here. So Aussie dollar, you're seeing that again we didn't do anything. U.S. trader was like, "Oh yeah, it's our time," and we're starting to pull in. So some interesting levels that where we're at right now. Now, this was an old level that we were looking for another pullback, right? It had really pushed it to the brink, so it wasn't really the best of areas that we are looking for. We're really looking for this one to run all the way down here to 73.87. So it's got some room to run. Let's keep this flat. Let's do it this way. So we got some more room to run on this one. I mean, in reality, that's kind of a profit target, and obviously some buyers coming in there. So maybe even a little bit lower on that one is where we'd be looking to reverse it. Again, gold's up a little tiny bit, but not enough compared to the dollar. So I do think that this finds a bottom somewhere in here. Obviously, we didn't trade this one; it was too far. But you can see right now we're in this kind of green level right now. It's got to get through where we're at, right? This opening kind of bubble that I just deleted off. We got this, but I think right now I'm looking for this one to continue to the downside. And again, the data we've seen out of Australia, it's been okay. Hasn't been great. They're not at the stage where we are for rank, for doing interest rate rises. But I think this one continues to fall. So Unfortunately, spent so much time at that level. Hmm, there's not even like a really great level in here that'd say, hey, if we get back up to here, that's a great opportunity. Um, 76 pips. I kind of want to mark this off. I don't think we reverse back up to that level today. That would require a reversal of about 55 pips. If we can move that reversal 55 pips, it's going to be because of a big headline. And again, leads us more into next week. How do you trade the VIX and the dollar index? I don't, Carol. The answer is you don't trade the dollar index. The dollar index is used as a kind of a proxy. Typically, you'll see the dollar index roll the same time the euro dollar, pound dollar, all the dollar-based pairs do. So it's kind of a way to foreshadow what you're going to see. The VIX is just a gauge of what the volatility is in the overall market, and kind of gives you a foreshadowing of what the indices are going to do, but you're not trading it itself. It's a little bit more of an advanced thing to do. But no, the dollar index you don't trade. It's just for currencies. Um, But yeah, I think this one has the ability to come down. I would say watch this out for Sunday night. Sunday night, if we come back up to the 74, 79 level, that's definitely a short area. It's a decent base with a drop. It hasn't reached back up there. But again, for some reason, if we take any type of gap, I think it's a probable trade. Right now, I would say, if you are short, look for 70, 73.87 is your target to the downside. Most likely where we're going to go to, because there's no buyers stopping this one. Question is, let's see. 40 pips. I don't think we're going to run 40 pips in the next 40 minutes. Maybe like a 1 o'clock reversal, maybe, as we see some, profit taking from the dollar. I think just right now, again, we didn't have any true data of what we are going to get, but we know it's going to raise. And today, with lack of any other news, lower volume going into the weekend, I think it's the opportunity for the the market to price in some, that dollar interest rate raise. So we'll see if we get a headline or not. But like I said, I remain short here. You know, Also yen. Okay, we talked about that 23, and you can see it's like hit it, it's hit it again, it's hit it again, it's hit it again, and we're just seeing that same type of weakness. I would say about this one, we had 3 decent hits now to that same level. I don't think that level's holding. Right, it's trying. Like they've been trying to get this on a pullback to go lower, but unfortunately, this larger scale 50 has been holding pretty well. So, I expect some type of reversal in the Aussie dollar. We're probably going to see it here first in the Aussie yen. And again, if you're going to take this, probably a little bit lower, but look at this. Rock solid here. Again, that 23.6 isn't as good. I would say the two levels for top and bottom for me right now are going to be this level right here at 93.24. And again, we're kind of approaching it. We're getting that reversal. Of the two, I think a reversal in the Aussie dollar is better than the Aussie yen. But we do have a very, very strong bit of movement. And again, we could probably shrink this down to this level right here. Right below that 50% retracement from, high to low. I'm sorry, low to high. Okay. But again, we've blasted through this profit target now a couple different times, and we're approaching it. But again, could we have a reversal today? Sure, absolutely. That would coincide with the yen, right? So, but yeah, not much movement. But that 23.6 has been pretty interesting. It's about a 30 pip runner from the 23.6 back down to the profit target. So, a couple opportunities. All right. Euro pound. So euro pound. Missed the lower target. We ended up cranking off this one, so we missed it by just a little tiny bit, but. I would say same thing that yesterday in the euro pound. We're seeing it rise back up again, and again, Russia pulling out, UK peace. That's a great thing, right? And that's why we're seeing a little bit of strength come back again. Remember the headlines we got yesterday? We're talking about really, actually, the last couple days from the ECB was. Listen, we don't know how long the Ukraine situation is going to go, but we got to control inflation. It's starting to cause problems. We need to cut we need to cut the support. We need to start moving, right? We need to start rolling, even with everything that's going on. Now, hearing that Russia has officially pulled back in the north, again, that should provide positive, movement for the euro. But look for this 23.6 level. Again, easy high to low draw. 23.6 is the pullback that people are going to be looking for. It's already hit there once, and again, it actually went and grabbed the supply right above it. So I'd say wait for the 83.60 or wait for some type of a confirmation turn. Again, this market only has 2 hours to go. Both these markets are closed soon. Do you want to take it into the weekend? I probably wouldn't carry this one into the weekend, but if anything, I would look for some type of an opportunity up top. Again, this 83.60 has the potential for a Sunday night gap. If we open there, and let's see, where would that be? Right here, right? If we open there, that could provide opportunity for a nice little short going into next week. All right. Euro yen. So euro yen. As you can see, we talked about this one late last night. They ended up triggering and then kind of came through and rolled up, and we're kind of just basing sideways. It looks very, very much like the Aussian, where we keep pushing between the two levels. 34, 42 at the bottom is kind of what we talked about. It's hit. We're sitting right smack in the middle. Not really a trade for us right now. So I would say, again, for Sunday, kind of the same thinking, right? 35.52, same levels yesterday. Would I be willing to take another long from down here? Maybe. It depends. Um, we're kind of solidly in the middle right now. We need 56 pips up and we need 68 pips down. We're kind of 1 day's worth of movement from either of those two. If we're going to hit them today, it's probably going to be end of the day. So I would say this is more Sunday night based trading. Look for those two levels. And again, we know we got a level sitting right below as kind of a backstop. So this one is more set up for next week than anything else. I wouldn't say that there's a lot. Whoops. Try to clean up some of these old ones so we're ready for next week as well. Pull that one over. Get this ready for next week. Target is out. Yeah. So these are kind of the levels right now. Again, I'd be a little bit cautious of this next one because this pushed pretty deep. This 134.42. But if we open there, that could be a Sunday night trade. I think really this is our 133.91 is kind of our new top. So it's kind of popped. And again, I don't want to cover it, but this is kind of what we're looking at, right? 136.54, 135.52 as our two potential areas. Again, the 135.52 is also a 50% retracement from high to low. The area down here, 134, again, is more target for shorts. Again, it's hit it a few times and we drove pretty deep, so I'd be very cautious taking it long again. But we do have a long area right below it of 133.91, so decent amount here, right? Decent amount. Euro dollar. So euro dollar, we talked before. Again, you can see the 50 has been tagged a few times. We talked about this one coming down to 108. We're at 108.40. Still continuing for this one to grind. As I said, we had that kind of basing level right here. Basing, top through. And again, you can see that we've peaked through the bottom, peaked through the top. So it's a level that, the market definitely is into. The market likes it. Let's see where a new potential. Yeah, it's kind of pulling back to here. I'm not super concerned. I kind of like this. If we can actually make it down to the 108, and again, this is kind of forecasting for next week, but if we can get down to the 108 level, we got kind of this sitting right here, a little confirmation off of it. So that could be something for Sunday. It's about 50 pips from where we are right now. I don't know that we're going to get all the way up there and then be able to take the trade, but I think for Sunday night, that's a potential trade right now. If you are short, again, it's not a 50% right now. Right now, it's actually, I guess if you would have got into that, that would have been a 23.6. So yeah, you should have been short. Was that 5:30? About 6. So it's a little bit late for the reversal, but again, if you are trading your reversal time frames 5:30, 10:30, again, continuation of this one going down. Obviously, we were in a downtrend, right? In the overnight, it did pull back from the European session up into the 23.6. It was an area of supply, and that pushed it lower. Does that area have significance? Sure. If we bring it down to the 108, our eventual target, down into the next area where we have a zone, it now all of a sudden becomes the 50. So if you're short, you're good. Let this one roll. I'd still shut it down before the weekend, though, just in case. Okay. Just in case. But yeah, that was a nice trade setup. I missed this one. I didn't get this one, but yeah, hopefully some of you guys grabbed that. Kip was up a ton last night, so unfortunately I was not there at 5:30 for that reversal. Pound yen. So pound yen. We're looking for more movement, and we drew kind of tops and bottoms, and literally it's just respected the tops and bottoms, and we've channeled sideways. We're looking for it to go down. We're looking for a break of this area. It's not there yet. It's still channeling back and forth, which is fine. As you can see, look at this. We've hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, almost 9 times so far. They're going to break eventually. When they do, we're looking for kind of a bit of a trap just lower. I would say right now the European market or the UK market is not really driving this that much. This is more of a yen-based play. Is there a trade setup right now? Nah. Would I take it long off of this? Not really. I mean, literally, we got an hour and a half. Let's see. What do we got? We got 2 hours. We got 2 hours to go. So, and again, that last hour, I don't know if we're gonna see that much movement, but we only got 2 hours left to go. I forgot what daylight savings time. It's 12 now, not 11. But anyway, yeah. So It's there. It's more of a next week. Nothing really to trade on this today. And again, typical Friday. But again, those two zones are respecting. They just, eventually it's going to break though. I think we break it next week. Um, I would like this to get high. I want them to raise interest rates one more time. I think they need one more. Um, Pound dollar. So we actually had an alert down here for the pound dollar. We were looking for somewhat of a reversal. You can see that we had a Harry Potter drawn here, right? We were looking for a break of this level, a base, a pullback, and a push all the way down to 129.40. It broke. We're just waiting for. I mean, again, I can bring this across. It's the same. Doesn't matter where I put it. That's what we're looking for, right? So we're looking for a base and a pullback. Looking for the short. Maybe you got into it a little bit early, and again, seeing this hit here and then kind of base on top of it. That was the old trade setup that we had, a break of 130. Do I think it deserves to be above 130? Yeah, I do. But I think this is just, this is an easy one today. There's not a lot going on with the pound. Obviously, the market is factoring in the dollar raising. It's got to do that well in advance. So, not surprised. But right now, it's kind of what's looking like. Again, we're waiting for the confirmation entry. We're looking for a pull. We're looking for a little bit of a base, a pullback, and then we're looking for this to head to the downside. So, but we're primed. We're just waiting for confirmation now. But this one is there. Um, this one should be good. Why is that so big? Is it 3? Oh, that's 4. That's why. Little OCD, which I don't have, but there you go. We're finally through. We broke through, and then again, I just slid this across. Dollar CAD. So, Dollar CAD. I mentioned this is going to be a rough one, right? And as you can see from where we were yesterday, we were right here yesterday. I was like, yeah, it's kind of a reversal level, but this entire yellow area is where all the sellers are. You see it dropped down to this base level and then did nothing. It totally flatlined. Nothing, 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 nothing popped, and now it's getting red. And again, we know this whole area has sellers in it. So really, I mean, it was great data today for the CAD, but was it really great data? Are people perceiving that as great data? Answer is not really, because you see one red, one green. Um, Kind of a hard one, right? Kind of a hard one. It's like, oh wait, is that good or is that wait? No, this is bad. No, it's not. Right now, this is hinging on oil. Okay, oil at 96.30. It's down again. It needs oil to pop again. If oil pops, we'll see this one roll. And again, 126.10 is not horrible, right? But it's also not the best. So we got a bunch of sellers here. I would say I am looking for more of a bearish trade in the dollar CAD, but I don't have anything right now. There's no trade setup for me. And again, with oil, that market ending early today, being a Friday, lower volume, the CAD news wasn't as great as we had hoped. I was hoping it would be, two greens or two reds. We just didn't get it. It was a split, one green, one red. Um, Both of them, I would say, are probably half decent. So if we can get a top, is there a trade potential for later? Sure. We know this entire yellow area is sellers. We have that marked off from over here. Um, you know, it's a decent top so far. If we get a little pullback, maybe we can get something in here. I can't really draw it yet. I don't have a decent level, but is there a reversal trade in here? There's probably something. Reality is it's only got about 20 pips before we run into the buyer. So I don't know. I think there's better opportunity out there if you like some of these other trades. Again, I think Aussie dollar is probably better reversal, maybe even one of the euro based trades at this point. Dollar CAD, I just don't think there's going to be enough momentum for the rest of today for this. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss is rallying, and dollar Swiss just ran right up into a level that we had talked about. Now we have hit this level twice. It's triggered here down. It triggered a second time. So it's not the freshest of triggers, but we know that this area here was something we wanted to watch out for. It did just tag the top level, right? And again, this one was the kind of the aggressive entry for it. Um, it's another dollar scenario. Do you take this one? Do we have enough time? I mean, the Swiss market's basically closed, so probably not enough opportunity in it. When this one peaks and turns, it's going to roll like everything else. It's just not going to peak and roll and turn as much as some of the other pairs out there. I mean, really, let's say European session is here. We've moved 24 pips total. You can see it's 40 since where we were yesterday, but the Europeans only drove it up 24 pips. So I think we'll probably get some profit taking coming in. I think this probably pulls back enough, but I don't think it's anything to trade on a Friday afternoon. There's just not enough potential in it. So gotta show a little bit of caution with it. But for next week, going into next week, I think a lot of this is getting factored in right now. Um, we may get a little bit of a pullback, right? We may get a little bit of a pullback, but I think right now with the scenario of raising a 0.5, I think, again, the market's going to definitely factor that full 0.5 in. It's whether we get a point five, point five, point five versus a just a point five, point two five. Okay, so some fundamental stuff. Dollar yen. Dollar yen obviously popping again. And I mentioned, listen, eventually when this gets back, we're good to go. We did a lot of basing back and forth. We're still not quite all the way back up to the top area, so we still have some more room to run in it. It is putting in kind of an interesting kind of, you know, it's putting a very interesting kind of top in right now. It's it's kind of like, huh, are we going to get the reversal? We got two, and technically, if the candle we just opened this green candle, so don't know what it's going to do yet, but we're kind of getting one of those tops that we like to see where that reversals come from. You know, anytime that you can actually it's this one. Anytime that you can draw a triangle, right? A decent triangle, and that encompasses everything. Let's see. Anytime you can draw a triangle like that, that's kind of what reversal patterns look like. So, yeah, we don't quite have it yet, but if this turns, this is a decent top. This is where the turns come in. It is 10:03. Could we potentially be getting the reversal now? This is where it would come in. It would make sense. The Europeans have sent it basically straight up. I mean, here's the 3 o'clock candle, right? Actually, 3 o'clock candle is right here, right here. So Europeans didn't do much. I'd say about 6:30. It's kind of the early U.S. session, but I'd say right now the dollar yen looks more like a short for me. It's not. There's no technical levels here, right? There's nothing technical about it at all. Um, since we're almost up top, let's remove this. We're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave this here. Let's pull it from the other direction now. Let's go bottom to kind of top. That's interesting how that's lining up. I was wondering if the 23 is going to be right there. It got close. It got close. That's what I was looking for. I was like, man, if the 23 is sitting right here at this pullback, I'm like, that would be perfect, right? Pull back to the 23 and then go long. Um, Let's see. Do I have a weak headline coming in at 10? Come on. Forex Factor having issues. There we go. Wholesale. Wholesale towards a little higher. Hmm. Mm-hmm. That is weak dollar. That is a weak dollar type based trade. Hmm. I'd say there's a potential reversal in here. And I guess you could drop this one down if you're really looking for a position. Yeah, look at that. When I drop it down to 5, you can kind of see inside of that triangle, more kind of what that looks like. A little easier to kind of see this. I'd say that there's a little bit of basing, so I mean, it's not bad. I would say right now this is looking like it's going to be a reversal. Again, I got to go down. You got to go down to lower time frame to see it, but I mean, it's looking like it's going to be something like this. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. So, eh, something decent if you need one, right? It's not bad. I mean, it's kind of boxed in, but with that news coming in, again, it's been straight up. We are at a reversal time. There are factors that are lining up for this one. So, again, make sure if you are short this one, make sure you get out of profit here. End of day, we're that level in a short position. Okay. Um, we still having the split. Look at cryptos too, real quick. Look at that. Love that. Grind, 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 grind. Bam! Explosion. Um, looks like Bitcoin is trying its best to go high. If you guys are, again, I don't do a lot of, actual trading. I'm just looking at these on a technical basis. But that's a pretty interesting bottom. It found the buyers that were here. Look at this. Same buyers stepped in at 42,740. Um, Ethereum's already in the green. Haven't again, it kind of looks similar, right? This is a little farther down. Interesting article that I saw this morning. They talked about how a guy went and visited. I forget what country it was, but was it Venezuela? The one that has Bitcoin as legal tender, and he said it was the biggest hassle to try to pay in Bitcoin. He goes, it was such a nightmare to pay dealers and things like that in Bitcoin. He goes, it was so bad. So interesting articles. I was like, oh look, it's they accepted as legal tender. Yeah, he said it was a nightmare. um, yeah. Didn't get the best ratings. And then Doji as well, right? So again, they're all kind of pulling back. It's interesting that Bitcoin kind of bounced right off that level. So, eh. Oh, this is the one that had the level on it. Oh, I forgot that I have two here. It's funny. There's the level that we talked about before in the past. The buyers coming in. So interesting that cryptos are kind of bouncing around a little bit. We'll see if they kind of counterbalance with the dollar. So oil, I think is an interesting talk today. And again, I'd be cautious of trading oil this weekend. We talked about the level here. We've kind of gone back and actually we've kind of consolidated even more. After we had the news, right? FOMC really kind of halted this sucker in, and now we're going sideways. Not really news one way or the other. But I would portray a lot of caution with this one. Here's why. French president. Where is it? Hmm, did they move it? Uh, there is OPEC, right? OPEC will be talking, and we have some OPEC headlines coming up next week. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? I think this is an interesting one. I think oil right now is kind of like, well, wait, where do we go? We're going up. We're going down. Anybody releasing things? What's going on with the reserve? We had 5 million barrels, right? Um, I think oil's got it's an interesting play, right? The 94 level, we do have a decent bottom here. This was a bottom we talked about from way back here, right? Back in March 15th, we had a touch. It was a confirmed level, and that's literally what we bounced off of yesterday at noon. Oops, that's literally what we bounced off of noon. So I would say right now, looking at this on a purely technical basis, to me, it looks like it wants to pull back down again. I think 94 is going to be the big level we watch out for. It has been hit twice. This one drove a little bit deeper, but I think it's going to be quite a psychological level. I would like it to figure out an area where to go long. Um, I think Sunday night, I think we look for long oil. After having such a big down draw this week, I think we're going to have, or I'm sorry, such a big surplus in oil this week. I think we'll have a down draw next week. Um, I think Sunday night again. I think if you can find a way to trade this one on a weekly basis, um, I think that's kind of the call for Sunday. But as of today, I would say probably a bit more bearish. Obviously it's fun and finding buyers. It's popped twice, but I think this one fails, and I think we get back that. I think we have the ability to get down. Can we go down $2.25 today? I don't think we'll have that much time, but I do think we come down probably into the 95 level today. So natural gas. Now natural gas pulling back a little bit, but it just barely. Right, we broke all the way up here. We got up to 653 and started the pullback. Right now, I would say that natural gas on a technical basis is looking more like a short for me. There is the small level, so it may bounce off this level and then come lower. But I would say right now, again, natural gas targets right now would be sitting down here at 60.05, right? 60.05. It's slightly off. I know that is. There you go. Yeah, $6.05, right? $6.05. Um, Yeah. Now remember, natural gas also does close early. It doesn't go the full day. There's not really any headlines driving it. We finally had the cold weather break in Maryland, so we should start seeing it pull back. But this is a cautious one. In that same article that talked about, um, you know, prosecuting people for war crimes. The other problem is if you go after and try to actually start prosecution against Putin for war crimes. Again, they said that could just ratchet him up even more, and it could be worse than it already is now, right? If he thinks that you're gonna, come after him and prosecute him, they said it's probably not worth it. I mean, the legal ramifications of it, or the legal pathway, would take so long to do, anyway. And as unstable as he is, you know, starting to try to prosecute him and bring him to justice may only send him over. He's like, oh, you're gonna do that? Fine, then we're gonna make this. I'm gonna make it real, and we obviously want to avoid that. So. But yeah, looks like natural gas is trying to go red for the first time in forever. So yeah, but again, decent Harry Potter trade setup right here. If you guys are looking for something for natural gas, again, a little bit riskier, and I do think overall natural gas, I'm still a bull. I hate that I'm saying that at $6.50, but I think eventually, when it's time to weaponize natural gas, I think Russia's going to pull that trigger. I think they will not hesitate on that one. Once they realize, like, oh, we only got a month to go, fine, we're going to get the political headline, right? And then there'll be a whole bunch of countries like, hey, we'll take the natural gas. Do we get a discount? And Russia will say, yes, you will, right? To guarantee those contracts. Because again, the United States, we're maxed for natural gas, but we have contracts with countries to provide natural gas to them. If those countries could get natural gas cheaper, why would they not make those same contracts with Russia? If Russia doesn't have to send it to Europe, they can send it somewhere else. That's global economy. Gold. So gold is taking off. Now, silver took off earlier down, and now silver's heading straight back up again. So it is kind of interesting that you're seeing this kind of rally. I'm wondering if it has to do with, let me go back here. I'm wondering if it has to do with this wholesale inventory. Um, Again, seeing the inventories go up, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Let me see what this says. Financial aid packages, direct aid. There's something going on with gold and silver. It's again, let's see, what is dollar doing? Yeah, dollar is still high, right? Dollar is still high, meaning that again, we're going to do something with inflation. There's something going on, and the reason why I say this is this, right? Not just because silver took an immediate tank, and then all of a sudden it took off, right? 30 cents down in one candle. In the next two candles, 30 cents back up again, followed by gold doing 30 cents. So there's something happening here. There's money moving around right now. Um, and no headlines. No headlines, right? And yet gold is rallying. So there's something there. We're going to see something coming out. This is kind of again, this is that secret stuff that we never get to hear. But again, gold is pulling up into an area. You know, we've pushed this brink before, but 95 or 1945 was an area that we've already had two trades off of it. If it, you know, if it can break higher than that, we know that we have sellers coming in right here, right? We know we got sellers here, and then obviously we have sellers all the way atop at those two levels. So, you know, how much can it rally? I don't know, but this is definitely a parabolic move on absolutely zero news out there with the dollar strengthening at the same exact time leads me to believe that this is something going on behind the scenes. Somebody's acquiring something. There's some large pressure out there. Don't know what it is, but um, we'll see. You know, there's something going on because this doesn't happen. This is a pure manipulation based move, right? Let's drop the price down. Let's buy it, bring it back up again, and yeah, this is a this whole area here. This is 100% purely market manipulation and silver. So yeah, I don't know what it is yet, but again, wouldn't be trading it. I'd stay be cautious with these. And again, I would be looking at in reality with the tops coming in, I'd be looking to short gold and silver based off of these two. And again, if you can grab an easy, like a cheap Nadex contract, wouldn't may not be a bad idea to take a cheap Nadex contract if you could find one. Again, remember that they closed earlier, but a cheap Nadex reversal contract. Again, parabolic move with absolutely zero news, right? I mean, I'm clicking it here and there's nothing, right? I doubt silver and gold are moving because of the Captain America comment, right? Besides that, there's nothing here. So unless there's breaking news, Sean, anything coming across Bloomberg? I mean, unless there is, there's nothing driving this right now. So again, those are great reversal opportunities. Um, let's check the indices out. VIX looks like it's running into something, and again, this is not a supply and demand based, product. It does look like it's running and starting to have a little bit of an issue. Which again, 10-15, you would expect it this kind of slow and reverse right now. Dollar is again also starting to reverse a little bit. So let's see what the indices are doing. Looks like that first level that we talked about for the Nadex breakout. Looks like it got popped. Um, Huge acceleration through, and now we're starting to see a bit of a hiccup at that 10 o'clock time frame. So we did not get the 50% retracement pullback. It did look like it did go to the lower one, though. It did go to the 61.8. We'll see if the 61.8 is what's able to hold. Um, but we need the VIX to start rolling. We need the VIX to start rolling for this really to go. Um, hmm. Interesting. Yeah, with this rolling, you would expect this to start stabilizing and going higher. So curious, curious. I don't need this one anymore. I think at this point, let's mark this top off. Starting to bracket these for next week. We're gonna go there. We don't need this. So yeah. Wah wah wah. Look at that 50%, baby. That 50% just got sliced through. Got sliced through. As VIX is picking up. Again, my VIX is delayed by 10. I'm not paying for the data feed for the VIX, but huh. Let's see what that's able to do. If we can break through here, I'll tell you right now, if we break through 44.68, I'd be looking for this one to go all the way down. should actually at this point it should break. Let's throw this here for a short position. Here's your 1 to 3. Um, you'll have some people try to claim victory on that one for. You have some people like I got it at 23.6, guys. It sliced up pretty high through that 23.6. Yeah, be like, did you really? Really? You sure? But yeah, we get a confirmation bounce to this 44.68. We could end up in the red today. Profit targets downside. Make sure you are out here. Again, it's kind of at the very, very end of this, but yeah, looks like it wants to go negative. I'm really curious because VIX is turning right now too. Again, maybe VIX is delayed. That's not the headline. There's something going on. Like I said, VIX popping. Yes, accelerating. Gold starting to kind of run into a top as well. Same with silver. Hmm. I feel like there's a headline we're not getting. Let's see here. Curious. I'm looking for like, you know, uh, despicable rocket strike. Okay. Finland hit by a cyber attack. Airspace breach as NATO bid Wade. Um, hmm. I don't see anything. Hmm. Weird. Weird. So yeah, again, for this one, a break of 44.6850. Look for a confirmation pullback. You guys all know what that looks like. A drop, some type of a basing candle. It could be a single, can be multiple. Look for it to pull back up again, and that's where we take our short. Again, we are at the 61.8 right now. Again, we are within that basing level of the 61.8. So again, could it potentially bounce higher? Sure, this is where it would happen from. Again, 23.6 wasn't really necessarily an issue. It sliced through it. It didn't even slow it down, so I wouldn't be worried about that one as much. NQ. NQ did retrace all the way to the bottom. So look at that. So full retracement back. NQ is like melting today. Jeez. Let's pull that one off. I'm gonna go top to bottom on NQ. Kind of the same thing. You're like, oh look, 23.6. It's like, well, kind of went through. Curious. Let's see where this one can go down to today. Man, what an explosion. Yeah, look at that. It based right in there too. So it held, but it just wasn't enough to hold it on that smaller time frame. Let us see. These are old levels. Probably here. Say it's here, and then it's off to the races. We're at it. We're kind of there now, but yeah, it's hitting that level. Those buyers right now. There are buyers just a little bit lower. I don't love them, but there are there. I'd say that these are. Yeah, it's pulling back from those buyers. All right, I have a short position here. 3 is there. We good there. 1 to 3 3. There we go. Mark that one off. Three. I need that one. Let's pull this down. I'm curious to see. It's like 61.8 is the hot one for this. Mm, I don't really like any of the zones here, and we had hit 5 times. I don't know if that 61.8 is going to hold again. We're going to leave this one here. This is old level. Um, put a horizontal ray on this. We'll change this to red. Sure. Um, oops. Man, these 23s are really trying to hold this one firm. Now, NQ is the weakest. So again, any type of reversal profit taking, NQ being the weakest, will get pulled back a little bit. Question is, how far can this one really go down today? Um, it's trying. It's fighting though. It's fighting. It's putting up a valiant fight here. So yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, reversing at 10 o'clock, is it unheard of? No. Interesting. I'd say watch for the short if we can break lower, but I wouldn't be surprised. As much as it's accelerated, look for that one to go. Um, there you go. Look at that. I didn't think I'd get down here before 9:45. So of all of them, ES at the opening, you weren't really at anything. I guess we were kind of in an area. We're close. We weren't quite at it, right? Maybe you got into it. Again, the 9:30 candle drove us into this lower level, so maybe depending on which level you took. Maybe you got stopped out if you were taking the 50, if you were taking the 61.8, because it did get down there at 9:30. Maybe you're long right now, which again, appropriate trade. NQ, NQ, unfortunately at 9:30 was really, it's already beyond, so this would not have been a trade setup for you this morning. Maybe you try to go long with it, but it was kind of past the zone already at 9:30, so not really the best opportunity. So again, definitely not that one. ES maybe, NQ definitely no. YM absolutely yes. The 9:30 drove it. The 9:45 drove us right into that level. Again, 50% pullback into that level. So again, you're out at this point. Um, Again, we're above the 34,500. You guys can see here. There was the trade setup, and 1 to 3 is right there. So you're well beyond the 1 to 3 already. So 1 out of 3 definitely. Maybe 2 out of 3. And then the Russell. Let's check the Russell. Yeah, Russell sliced through it as well. And again, 9:31 started up here, so no, it would not have been an opening trade setup. But it's getting an interesting pullback now. So I don't care about the 78. Yeah, it's rallying through. Yeah, we don't need that now. It ended up going through. Yeah, I'd say. Hmm. Do I want to bracket that off? What's back there? I don't need this anymore. That trade's out. Let's kill this for next week. Curious. Let's see. I'll bring this because this is a decent one. Let's see. Let's bring this across. 1925 would be an interesting level. Not really any huge explosions in here at all. A little bit of a gap right here. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, it's the middle of the night. Yeah, not a lot stopping it. I mean, if this one starts to get really negative, and again, we're rallying back up right now. Trying anyway. Let's see where the fib people are getting in. Looks like a little bit higher. Looks like this one has the potential. Again, right at 2000, 2001 is where fib traders will start jumping into this one. Any of the 23.6 people have already been stopped out at this point. So yeah, tough morning for fib traders. They got busted on the ES and this one. This one's reversing up top. Yeah. So again, if you're looking for something right now, profit target on your longs, 2001 YMs, you're probably at the 50% mark already. Again, we're already out of this long. We'll just do it this way. Yeah, the 50. We're right around that 50. So yeah, YM should flatline a little bit. Let me see what is Apple doing. Apple found a base. Tesla not so much. Hmm. Tesla's got 111. A little bit more room to run in Tesla. Natural gas is back in the green. Natural gas is popping from that zone. Um, Yeah, gold and silver. Look at gold and silver. They're obviously having issues. Just that Germany strikes a deal. Ah, I'm curious. We're definitely missing a headline somewhere. Again, this is a lot. If there's no headline, this is a lot of behind the scenes action, very very fast. Um, again, dollar turning quickly, right? Dollar turning quickly. VIX obviously turning quickly. And again, green from there. Again, hold this ES trade, right? This is why we need the confirmation of it. Again, it's a 61.8 level, so it was a decent level to turn, right? It would have stopped out all the 50% traders, all the 50% fib traders using 61.8 as a stop loss. It stopped them all out and then immediately reversed. Wonder if it's trying to trick people to get back in. But yeah, hold this one. If this is a next week thing, hold it. 44.68. So, what are you doing? What are you doing? Turn on this baby on the floor. Um, Melissa put him behind me. She's a meeting at 10:30. So, yeah, interesting. Let me see. What is I'll see is reversing up. Look at that. Tagged it right off that line. Euro as well as the pound. So, question is this just a pullback? Um, this is what I'm curious for. Will this give us the entry we needed? I guess I'll run it from the top. Yeah, we're real close to the 23.6 continuation to the downside. So, yeah, question is, it is 10:30. The question is, will this be the reversal for the morning or not? I don't know. Like I said, there's no headline driving any of this. This is purely, look, dive bombs is 130. I love the headline. The rate dive bombs 130 as U.S. strength builds, right? And again, in response, it's like, what? No, 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 no. So, and we'll see. We'll see if the dive bomb actually comes in or not. But it's close. Mid steep losses to government bonds pushing back 20. Beneath the 20 moving average. Yeah. So interesting positioning. Definitely some interesting positioning. I think there's a headline. There's movement behind the scenes, whether it be central bank or not. There's something going on that we don't have access to right now. I'm sure we'll find out what it is later on today. But interesting days in the market. Like I said, it's Friday. You guys know how much I dislike Friday trading anyway. But yeah, I'm definitely looking for this gold and silver. I would love to figure out what the heck is going on. But yeah, talk about manipulation. Silver absolutely 100% manipulated right there. With no headline. With no headline. So let's hold. VIX is still in the red. So yeah, these should be. We'll see. Fun, fun, fun. All right. So opening trade setups today on those 15 minutes. Definitely one, maybe two. And again, Russell definitely no. So I mean, 2 out of the 4 today were not, just because there's so much pressure to the downside. But 2 of them were decent long setups that you could have grabbed. Like I said, those small 2 hours, there's plenty of movement on all of them if you were able to grab some of the bottoms. Or, I'm sorry, some of the tops. That's what it is. You know, currencies about where they were. They're not really accelerating. They're just moving again. They're starting to chop in the lower time frames and stuff. So you're starting to see some mixes here. But look, pound yen minus 13, euro pound 8, nothing. Dollar CAD 30 and nothing. 36 here. That's okay. This one's okay, but you're seeing that it's kind of flip flopping back and forth. It's actually retracing a bit, and then again down big. But in the last hour, you can see that obviously chunking back again as you're getting profit taking coming in. So that's what happens. It's Friday, so it's all about profit taking. All right, let's go ahead and do the. Let's go ahead and do the drawing. Let's do the giveaway. All right, who we got here? So the interesting thing is right now, I'm just going to say this: El Salvador. Yeah, it could be El Salvador, Carol, the one that did the Bitcoin thing. Yeah, but yeah, excuse me. The journalist said it was a nightmare. He's like, "Oh my god, it was such a hassle." I was like, "Yeah, I can imagine." Um, the interesting thing is the guy that won the last 2, who was going for the big 250 pip chip today, is not here today. So yeah, poor Briggs. I don't know if Briggs overslept or what it was. He spent all those chips to get 2 wins in a row, and then he's not there to get number 3. So I don't know. We'll see who takes it. So let's go ahead and shut it down. It is 10:32. We're 2 minutes past. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest. I'm gonna tell Briggs, Ernest, that you know what, you messed it up for him. He didn't win 3 times in a row because You stepped in and took it. You stole it from him today. Tell me like you stole Ernest stole it from you. You could have won 3 times, but Ernest bought the pot, right? Always say, if you don't play, you can't win, right? Yeah, poor Briggs. Poor Briggs. What are you gonna do? So anyway, things to watch for over the weekend. Look for some gaps. The French presidential election should be interesting. I don't think it's going to really change too much. Lummery or whatever it was that they're like, oh, maybe there is a chance. The lock wasn't guaranteed, but the question was maybe was that just a headline? Was it still a lock? And they were just trying to be like, hey, you should watch the election. It's not a lock now. It absolutely could be. And then again, we'll get some Chinese data on Sunday night. Chinese data should help move around the Aussie. For those of you that are unaccustomed to it, 9:30 p.m. at night. There's not really many U.S. traders in there, but Sunday night is Monday morning in the Asian session. So again, Chinese year-over-year CPI and PPI data, even though they're closed down right now, inflation's a big deal. Not they just dropped interest rates, but we'll kind of get a read on what it looks like going further if there's going to be more drops or not. And again, what happens in inflation in China spills over into Australia. So should help move some of those Asian-based currency pairs. With that said, I'm out of here for today. I will catch you guys back on Monday. And good trading to you, and have a great weekend, everybody. Take care.